Hey guys, it's Amanda with My Life, My Way. I'm wearing a new mask. They are, I guess I don't need my seatbelt on anymore. They're mandatory in the city that I live in for going out into anywhere public right now. And I wanted to show you my new mask. Look how cute it is. My mom made it because I'm nerdy. And I really wanted one that was medical related. So they're like bandana style. So they don't like sit super tight under here. So if you need a mask, she's got stuff. She's Designs by Trish on Facebook. So just in case you want to know. Other than that, like obviously I don't have to wear one in my own car. This is just a quick update. I don't think anybody's going to pop on live. It's like right at 5 o'clock in my own time. So hi to anybody that does come on. Oh, and a bus. Just hiding out in some residential area. That's not mine. I stopped in to pick up some stuff for my cross stitch from the little tiny store that's here. There's like a little one-off that's individually owned that I really like. And I bought these little clippies. I'm super excited about these. So I do a lot of cross stitch for anybody that's hasn't been around for a long time. And these clippies are supposed to like, look how fun colored they are. They're supposed to like hold up the back of your, like all the extra material underneath your frame so that it's out of your way. And they're so much fun. And they came in like blue and bright pink. And I'm kind of nerdy and a little excited about that. Probably more than I should be. And I don't care. They were like $3. So like super cheap, super quick. And I'm pretty excited about them. The other thing that happened this week is that we got our COVID vaccines rolled out to paramedics, which was awesome. We initially were not counted as being frontline staff. Okay. Apparently other provinces across Canada have also had some issues with not being counted. I have some questions for the people making the decisions. Like, I'm not discounting any of the other people that get it. Like, long-term staff, long-term care facility people that are living in those long-term care facilities. Yeah, for sure that's where we've seen a lot of deaths happen. But, like, I go from one of those to a COVID call back to one of those in a day. I'd like to not drag it with me. You know what I mean? I also have a medical condition called ankylosing spondylitis. For those of you that haven't heard before, it's a very fancy name that we abbreviated out to AS because ankylosing spondylitis straight up took me 3 days to figure out how to say and like 3 weeks to figure out how to spell without Google going, did you mean to spell it this way? Like, yeah, I did. Thanks. Shh. Knock it off, Google. Anyways, So I have this medical condition, and it's a form of rheumatic disease. So it's sort of related to like rheumatoid arthritis in that it falls under the inflammatory arthritis category, but it's not actually rheumatoid. So it's sort of like a cousin. Like it's genetically related. They know it's genetically related. Not everybody tests positive for the gene, but like 90% of people that have it have this HLA-B27 gene, which I do have. They found it when I was 24 because my eye did something really wonky, and I have something called iritis, which is inflammation in the iris of the eye. It pretty much happens to my left eye. It's kind of its deal. And when it goes off like a shot, and it takes like 6 to 8 months to take care of. It's been kind of crazy. It happened 3 times. The amount of steroids I was putting in my eye to get that under control caused a cataract. So every once in a while, if you're looking at my videos, I don't know if you can see them right now. Maybe not. Depending on where the light is hitting, there's like an extra little like white wiggle in this eyeball. This is my left one. I know it's a little weird when you're looking on camera, but whatever. There's a little extra white wiggle inside of my pupil sometimes. And if you're ever wondering like what is happening in this woman's face, it's my fake lens. So I had cataract surgery where they pulled out the lens that was distorted with the cataract, and they put a plastic one in. And because plastic reflects light rather than absorbs light, sometimes in really weird lighting, you can see this little extra jiggly bit, and it's my lens, my fake lens, reflecting back light. Good times. When the cataract started to form, my specialist took a look at me, and he's like, you know, it's straight up, like, if you don't get this under control with something better than just, we treat it with a crap ton of steroids when it starts out, you're gonna go blind. And that was sort of a startling moment for me. And he ended up referring me back to a rheumatologist, who's still the doctor that I see, even though it's not technically a rheumatoid arthritis. And she actually studied underneath the ankylosing spondylitis specialist in Alberta. He's the one that initially diagnosed me with it. And so I actually went and saw her. She's wonderful. She's younger. She's probably my age-ish, maybe a little older, maybe. And she did a really thorough check, and she was like, you know what? I kind of agree with him. We need you on bigger, badder drugs. At that point, I was only using like mild pain reliever to take the edge off. I was taking something very similar to like a Aleve on a daily basis. That's a prescription form. So it's a kind of a bigger, badder ibuprofen, basically. And I was on some in the morning, some in the evening, and it would kind of like sort out enough that I could continue to move. And so they put me on something called Humira, and Humira is a immunomodularizing medication. So it does suppress the immune system a little bit, because in an inflammatory arthritis, it's your immune system that's causing the problems. So it kind of like tamps it down a little bit and just kind of gets it to function somewhere within a normal range. And some people who take medications like Humira start to see a ton of infections. Everything goes around. They pick up and they get super sick. And to be honest with you, I did that the first year I was in camp pre-taking Humira. And camps like work camps up in northern Alberta, like oil rig camps. I got everything that went around that year. And to be honest with you, ever since, I haven't really been very sick at all, even with Humira. I get like a cold a season, but I haven't been sick with influenza. I've been less sick than some of my coworkers have been, even when I caught the same, what we figure is probably the same bug. So it's been not so bad. I haven't had a whole lot of issues that way, and I'm very, very thankful for it, because what it does is allows me to be a functioning human being and still be a paramedic at the same time. So I'm still in the ambulance. I'm still dealing with sick people. I take precautions for sure. Like every influenza season, I'm very, very cautious about like my hand hygiene and that kind of stuff, and making sure I'm 1,000 rounds of hand sanitizer in per shift. It's probably gotten a little bit more intense since COVID started, but really that didn't change a whole lot for me at work. At home, yes, there's a lot more. When I teach first aid, there's a lot more hand sanitizing going on than ever used to happen. But during influenza season with patients and stuff, I was always super cautious, just because you never have any idea. Sometimes they are sick with influenza, and that's why we're taking them to the hospital. So you're just cautious. So that part didn't change for me. But it was a little worrisome when they started talking about a vaccine. Are we going to be able to take it? Are we not? There's been a lot of like conversations about it, because in the initial testing, they didn't include anybody that was immunocompromised, which is fair, because the initial testing has to be done on healthy individuals. Okay, fine. But then what does that mean for me being a paramedic who's on these immunomodularizing medications? And so I had a conversation with my doctor. And basically what she said is, for me, in my case, I should be taking the vaccine as long as I'm okay with it. And I feel like vaccines are a very personal choice, especially at this point, because this one's very quick to roll out and that kind of thing. This isn't a discussion on whether or not I think everybody should take the vaccine or not. Not what I'm trying to say. But I felt very honored that lots of people, because paramedics were not on the list in my province to get vaccinated until like somewhere between April and September. We were on the same list, like part of the list, as people who work as like clerks in a law office and a court, sorry, not law office, but in the court system. And while I'm not saying that they also don't come into contact sometimes with COVID people, probably more rare. So that was a little weird for us. We were a little like, what the crap? And a ton of people got online. So there was lots of nurses, there was doctors in our areas, there was some really strong paramedics that I work with that sort of took the initiative and started a petition that was getting everybody to sign, including nurses and doctors that we work with. Our head honcho doctor for like what I do is Dr. Kabaroff, and she's amazing. She tweeted out like the first day that they rolled it out, like paramedics should have been in on the roll. What is happening? And so because all these sort of strong-minded people got together, I got my vaccine the other day. As soon as it hit my inbox, I was signing up for it. I went last week. It was a honking line to get in. They had it in a building that's actually not usually used. It was in a strip mall next to a liquor store, which I kind of laughed about, just in case you had any post plans. And then so I like saw the lineup around out the door. I'm like, okay, well that kind of sucks, but whatever. So I parked my truck and I got out, and I say truck loosely. This is not really a truck. Got out, and not only did it go around the corner, it went down the length the back of the strip mall, and then step behind the strip mall is like a Home Depot, which is a fairly large bookstore, like a Walmart or something along those lines. All the way to the back of their parking lot behind the Home Depot is where this lineup went to. We're like, oh, like I did not plan very well for that. It was thankfully not very cold outside. And when I mean not very cold, I mean by Canadian standards. It was 0 degrees or 32 degrees Fahrenheit outside, but the sun was shining, so it wasn't like that bad. But by the time I made it in the door, it was like a 45 minute wait, give or take a little bit. So they were actually moving pretty good. But I was a cold. At least my feet were. The rest of me was actually doing okay, but my feet were freezing. And I couldn't use my phone because my hands would get like instant cold the minute I pulled my phone out and started to play with it. So that kind of sucked. As soon as I got in from the door, though, I reset. I had a timer going just to like see what it was, how long it was taking. And then, so once I got in the door, I re-hit the timer again. And the first person is asking you, like, are you fit to be here? Like, you're not sick, you don't have any symptoms, blah, 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 blah. And I kind of had a shortcut. So for people that work for the company that's administering the shots, which I do, there's an online format that we can go on where I can fill out the form ahead of time and just show them, like, hey, I filled it out and I'm agreeing I'm good to come in. I've screened negative. So it's that. And then you go to the second desk and they want your confirmation number. And the only reason I had that up super quick is because I needed the email for the actual address. I knew about where it was. And then as I went to go leave my house, I realized I didn't know the exact address, so I had to pull it out. So that at least the email was up and I had my confirmation number available. And then you went to another desk to verify your personal information with your ID and your healthcare card. And then I waited like 5 seconds in line and I was in talking to a nurse and she was giving me the rundown on these are the side effects, these are the risks, this is what you need to know about this vaccine. Are you going to take it? We chatted for a couple minutes. I had her in stitches while we were laughing, like just while she was drawing up medications, and it was a good time. She hit me with the medication and then I went and sat in another chair. It was literally 20 minutes from the time I got in the door to the time that I was done my injection. And then because of the risk of anaphylaxis with any injection you ever get that's brand new, even my Humira, there was a risk of it. With every vaccine, there was a risk of it. So they always ask you to wait for 15 minutes in that healthcare setting so that if something does kind of go wrong, you're surrounded by nurses that all know how EpiPens work. It's a good place to be. So I sat down, I chilled out in the chairs for 15 minutes, talking with some other people that I've been in the lineup with about our experience. And then I went home. It was super quick. It was super easy. When I got home, I was still a little chilly. So I crawled into the bath. I got out of the bath. I sat at my couch for like, I don't know, half an hour. And I started doing a little cross stitch, watching a little TV. And I literally fell asleep with my cross stitch in my hands. And I was like, okay, so I'm tired and I need a nap. I'd only been awake for like 4 hours. And most of that was in the whole process of getting the injection, like driving down and getting the injection and driving back. Shouldn't have been tired. But I laid down for like a 2-hour rock solid nap and I only woke up because my alarm went off. Because I didn't want to just fall asleep at 4 p.m. and sleep till the next day because it'll really screw me up. So I slept for 2 hours. I woke up. I noticed I was pretty tired that night. I noticed I was pretty tired the next day. And then I've been pretty much normal ever since. That was really the only side effect. I had a little bit of a sore arm. I think going in, it hurt a little bit more than my average flu shot does for like a minute. And then after that, it was just like a regular flu shot. Like it was a little sore. It wasn't super painful. It wasn't like a big lump. It didn't get red. It didn't turn colors. It didn't nothing. So super quick, super easy, no lasting side effects from it. I have a follow-up test or follow-up injection booked in February to get my second dose. And these ones are non-live vaccines, by the way. The only ones we have in Canada are both non-live. So people with immunomodulating medications can take them. As long as you have a talk with your doctor first and clear that it's okay. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I was tired for like 2 days. Maybe get it on your day off if you're going to get the injection. But that's pretty much it. I usually get tired and worn out faster than most people anyways. It's one of the bigger side effects I suffer from still with ankylosing spondylitis. It is a side effect of having an immunological disease is fatigue because my body's fighting itself. On that, not a big deal. I did my Humira shot last night. No side effects. No nothing. Easy enough. So that's pretty much it. That's really all I got to say today. So I'm going to let you guys go. I know it was a quick update. in like the fertility land of things, we didn't take any drugs because I don't have a doctor anymore. All of them are gone now. It's super weird. But we should be ovulating like about this week, and I'm just using OPKs and seeing if we can get some time stuff going. Right now with my husband being unemployed, there's not really an opportunity to do any other forms of treatments, or to obviously travel is obviously not an option right now. Apparently Prague is kind of opening back up a little bit for travel, but with us coming from this far away, it's a long way to go. It's not like you're traveling from other parts of the EU to get into Prague from here, because I'm in Canada, so we're just not really planning on that right now. Hopefully it kind of eases up and we can get kind of back to normal maybe this summer, this fall, once the vaccine really starts to roll out. The more cases that are vaccinated and we don't see, the fewer that are end up in a hospital, and the less the pandemic affects everybody, right? So hopefully that's a thing. Hopefully that kind of maggots up, and hopefully he goes back to work soon, because it'd be super good. Like, I love him, but we're locked in a very small house together. Like, I picked him. I would still pick him to today. He's still the best package deal I ever got. He came with a dog. They were amazing together. But, like, he usually works out of town, and I usually have some personal space. You know what I mean? So, that's not a thing. But yeah. I don't know. I'm going to let you guys go. We should be ovulating this week, so, like, pregnancy test in maybe 2 weeks. I'll jump on next week. We'll see what's going on, if there's anything wild and exciting in the world. And then, yeah, you feel me? Yeah, I'm not the only one locked in a house by myself this week. We're locked in a house with somebody else that you don't normally spend all of the time with. But, yeah, stay safe. Make sure you're taking care of your own health. Making sure you're taking care of your mental health as well. It's important. And I will talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.